Okay, so morning fellas. This is what has arrived in the mailbox, and I don't know if you guys can make out what this is. This is a STOMP grip. These are grips that go onto the tank. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. You have these thorns, or you have these bits sticking out of the surface, both in rubber. So what this does is this helps you grip better to the tank because it offers some kind of friction, decent amount of friction if you ask me. This will start pricking your thigh real hard if you are going to be placing this in the wrong area of your tank, or if you cover the entire tank with this. That's not a necessity, but that being said, any which ways, I already have this on my motorcycle tank. I have a small bit. This is for the Duke, the KTM Duke, not for our motorcycle. There are some manufacturers who make dedicated STOMP grips for our motorcycle, but those are very soft textured ones. This is called a STOMP grip. This is a dedicated product. This is not the same as the ones that you see online. But any which ways, the end use is the same. They both help you grip the tank better. Our Himalayan tank is not much of a curved tank to start with. It is a very narrow tank. So if you can grip it well while you do off-roads, you can use your lower body to maneuver the motorcycle better. Okay, so that is me getting rid of both these bits. So what we have left with is these two arrow-like shapes. I'll have to take this onto the motorcycle and see where exactly I want this to be placed on the tank, so that I can grip my tank better. So we'll take this to the bike and maybe use a template to figure out if I need to trace the template onto this and then cut this out. Otherwise, I'm good to go straight, just getting a good idea of how I want it on the motorcycle and then cut it into the right shape. Okay, so another thing that I have to say from experience is this particular tape, 3M double coated tissue tape, or whatever the crap that this is. This just doesn't stick well onto the motorcycle. I have given it all sorts of time, and I've tried all sorts of ways to get this to stick onto the motorcycle. Yes, it does stick, but then what happens after a short period of time? This starts to slide. The rubber starts to move away from the adhesive, and it's pretty easy. It's like child's play to pull this out of the there you go. Pull this out of the motorcycle. You needn't even give it a second thought, and you can just start pulling it out of the bike. So that is definitely a problem in a country like India, where every Tom, Dick and Harry is interested in meddling with things that belong to others. So this has to come off. What I have as a replacement for this tape, I will show to you guys in a minute. Okay, so as you guys can see, I have traced this on a piece of paper, and that is the template that I've cut out. I took that with me, put it on the motorcycle, did a lot of figuring out how to go about things, started chopping bits and pieces until I was left with something like this, and this sits right about there. So this is the piece that I've managed to extract from that much, and this is what I want on the motorcycle. So now it's just a question of tracing this like that, getting that out from this rubber piece, and then throwing it on to the motorcycle. That's about it. You're looking at a cut like that, a neat cut like that. So take your time with this, plan, and If you do not have enough experience with cutting with a cutter or scissors, the best bet is to give it to somebody who's good at crafts, art and craft. They'll be able to do a much better job than you do. So now it's just a question of tracing this onto this and then cutting it out. I'm going to be tracing this on the back side. So flip back side, trace it on the back side, and then I'll go about doing the rest of it. Okay, so a tiny iteration to this. I just did it was a little too curvy here on the top, so I made it a little more angular, and this is what I'm left with. So that is what I use. 3M attachment tape for stronger bonding and blah blah blah. Any which ways, I have used this for about 5 years now, and 3 to 5 years, I'm not very sure. Maybe not this exact same model, but something like a predecessor to this. And these things are rock solid once they dry up. Yes, you will need to heat them just a bit so that they stick onto the surface well. And once you want to put this on the tank, you'll have to heat the surface of the tank a bit as well, just a bit. And then, you know, once you have this on the tank for 24 hours, then there's absolutely nothing that anyone can do, and you know, there's no chance of this coming off the tank as well. You can generate as much pressure as you want on the grips and they will not budge, neither will you have any worries of anyone pulling this out of your tank. So this is one product that I recommend, like an absolute must if you want to stick accessories onto metal or plastic or anywhere on your motorcycle. 3M double-sided tape. Yes, the only downside to this is it has a width. This is about 1 mm, and yes, that will kind of show here as a gray tape, like how you guys can see here. But that's all right. That's all right. I mean, you know, that is the compromise that you will have to take or make because you want this to last, this to stick onto your motorcycle and just, you know, be a done and dusted deal instead of worrying about people pulling it out if you were to park your motorcycle somewhere. And that is my STOMP grip, all ready to go onto the motorcycle. It has the 3M tape, the double side tape, like I said. So that's on both the sides, heating the 3M double-sided tape just so that it sticks better. The combination of heat and cold works well for anything that has to be stuck on metal. So that is how the STOMP grip looks. Yeah, this may not be the most aesthetic option of mounting a STOMP grip onto the tank, but this is quite functional, and I usually like a bit of an abstract. I'm an abstract guy, and I like the way these sit on the tank. Quite wild looking, as you can see, and I like it for the way it looks. So that's the whole of it. So if you could just make out as to how I was going about gripping the tank, this place is where my inner thigh is, towards the knee of course, and this would be my knee, this portion. These STOMP grips are extremely helpful when you do dirt. They don't serve any other purpose apart from that. Well, some might like the looks of it, but I haven't done it for the looks of it. For that matter, I have not done a single mod on the motorcycle for the looks of it, except for the double take mirrors, and the most expensive of the mods. The rest of it is just purely functional mods, including the STOMP grips. So this is something that I would recommend only if you guys do a lot of dirt. Otherwise, this is definitely going to interfere with your riding pleasure. So that's that, guys. Hope you liked the video. This is another mod coming to an end, and of course I'll put it to the test once I go on an off-road trip. Long time since I've been to the mountains. Very soon I shall get back to riding off-road again. I'm a bit unwell at the moment, so when I get back off-road, when I get back off-road, I shall share some tips with you on how to go about controlling the motorcycle with your lower half of the body. The usual mistake that we make is we end up assuming that we control the motorcycle with the handlebars, where that is not entirely true. I would say it's a 50-50% deal. 50% the handlebar, 50% your body's inputs. So if you know how to handle a motorcycle with your body, especially with the lower half, there's nothing like it. You become an extremely better rider if you get the hang of it. Your entire riding pleasure will grow leaps and bounds. So keep that in mind. Just give it a try. Try controlling the motorcycle with your lower half and feel the difference. So yes, of course I'll make a video on that. But then until then, this is Ben signing out for now.